everybody. Welcome to Afro News Afternoon, where we give you a lunchtime bite of news. This is our inaugural episode, and we're so happy to be chopping it up with you on this marvelous Monday. As with each brief episode, we're going to have our editorial team talk about some of the major stories of this week, and we may have some surprises at the end. So you want to stay tuned for the entire episode. And without further ado, hey team, how are y'all?
Hi.
Good. How
Wonderful.
Are you?
Happy Monday.
Yes, it is a happy Monday. So I think we should start out with our weekend. Wow, just check in and see how everyone enjoyed their weekend. So just share one sentence of a wow moment of this weekend. And Rev, we got to start.
Make me first. That's right. Make me first. Yes. I had an absolutely wild weekend. And it was too short. And I'm glad to be back on Monday. Take it away, whoever's next.
Oh, Jess, we'll go with you. You can be the next tribute.
Okay, well, hi everybody, and my weekend wowzer or what, I'm messing it up. I can't even remember.
Weekend wowzer is what it is.
Okay, it's something. We're gonna make it our own. But I slept. Okay, so I caught me about like a 3-hour nap on Friday because that's Afro's day off, and then on Saturday. So I'm feeling good about myself right now. I really needed that rest. Okay, I just kind of had to say, forget everything else. I'm tired. Don't talk to me. Put the phone on do not disturb. I'm out. So that it just changed my life. It changed my life and it made my weekend. So there we go.
Yes. What about Malika? What was your weekend wow?
My weekend wow is one word, and that is Winston. That is my 8-year-old. So with the 8-year-old and the husband working all weekend, that was my weekend wow. Me and Winston at karate, me and Winston getting haircuts, me and Winston getting pizza. That was my weekend.
Oh.
We have to have Winston on one of the episodes. No.
Oh my, I'm sure he will be thrilled.
Yes. And Megan, what was your weekend wowzers?
Well, I would say mine was very different from Jessica's. I feel like I was running around all weekend. But Friday night, I went to see my beloved Terps, Maryland Terps play. We lost terribly, so that was upsetting, but it was still fun to hang out with everybody and watch the game.
That's a good one. Go Terps, despite the loss. We are ever true, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess I'll share my weekend wow, which is that it was family. One word, wrapping it up in family. I went to a church picnic, which I have not done in forever, outside on the water, and that was beautiful. And then we ended the day celebrating again on the water in the Georgetown area of DC for my aunt's birthday, and it was just such a treat. So, family.
Love that.
So I guess speaking of our personal weekend wows, over the weekend, news happens, it never ends. And there was some wild stuff and some awesome things as well in the news this weekend. But Jess, do you want to share a little bit about a weekend wow in the news?
Yes, and so this was a big wow, and I'm so mad it's not me, but it is what it is. So everybody knows that there are a lot of companies out here mandating that their employees get the vaccine and things like that, and you have other places like Amazon who are offering an incentive for employees to do so. So apparently they have like a sweepstakes through October 21st. And the company is going to award a total of 18 like grand lavish prizes worth nearly $2 million. And this is Amazon we're talking about. So they got the money. Okay. That money ain't funny. It's real, hard, cold cash. Okay. But so they got two $500,000 awards, cash awards, 6 $100,000 awards, 5 new car giveaways. And they're also giving away 5 like all expense, all inclusive vacation packages. So over the weekend, a Dundalk man in the Dundalk area, he won one of the $100,000 grand prizes. Okay. And so he's a person of color, he's Latino, and he's a truck driver. And it's funny because, guys, get this, he has only been working at the company for 2 months. Okay.
Wow.
So talk about luck. Okay.
Wow.
God is good all the time.
Mhm.
Woo! That's why I said I wish it was me, honey. I wish it was me. I knew I should have took that part-time job at Amazon. I knew. I'm just messing with y'all. But I mean, just can you imagine $100,000? Like, what would you do with it? What would you do with that money, Misha?
Y'all don't even want to know.
Right.
It's gonna start with paying off them student loans because I'm tired of the federal government on my back.
Oh, that's
Afterwards, woo!
right.
That it is truly on. That is a true weekend. Wow, Jess. Thank you.
No
Thank
worries.
you. And you know, I just want to tell Amazon, if they're tuning in, Mr. Bezos and the crew, that I think that your supporters should also be involved in this because Lord knows I didn't spend too much on Amazon just this weekend alone.
I spent $2 million already on Amazon.
Amazon's at my door every other day.
Okay.
Every
And
other
it's to the
day.
point that I'm even getting my neighbors' packages because I guess they're like, oh, we're used to coming in this. We know who, and I just get everybody's mail. So that's neither here nor there.
I love this. Rev, did you have a weekend wow news-wise to share with us?
I tell you already.
I thought you did, but I couldn't remember.
No, I did not have a weekend wow to share with you. I have a news story to share with you if you'd like me to do that.
A weekend news wow. It's your weekend news wow.
It's an ongoing story because you know, there are a lot of things going on in Baltimore City. So it's an ongoing story, but we have posted a very interesting story about how Baltimore is always reimagining itself. And it's an interesting story because it comes from the viewpoint of Ralph Moore, who is a boomer, and of our youngest writer, Megan Sales, and they talk about what's happening in the city. So be sure not to miss that. Use the hashtag AFRONews at noon when you go on afro.com.
Megan, can you give us any teasers on that story?
Yeah. So I mean,
Rev said no, so don't give us the lead.
I will say this. So, you know, working with Mr. Moore was really amazing because he definitely had the perspective of like Baltimore City when I was like basically in middle school and young and didn't know what was happening in the city. And then I kind of basically focused on, you know, Mayor Scott's new plans and things like that and how he wants city government to look like.
Well, you know, I think that this is a great transition into what's happening in the paper this week. You know, the weekend was good news wise. And as Rev said, a lot of the issues that we're covering and posting online over the weekend are things that are very much so ongoing and developing. But still use hashtag AFRONews at noon because the goodness is coming in a major way at noon as well. But that said, Mylika wrote our inaugural Afro News at Noon story that got online at 12 o'clock. So, and Winston, I guess, did not distract her too much to get this news out. So what's wrong? What can the people expect for this first Afro News at Noon story?
The people can expect a personal or several personal accounts of what made the Black Mom or the Black Maternal Health Momnibus Act recently passed to throw a whole lot of money at basically ending racial disparities with maternal health. And what the story talks about is personal accounts of what makes that necessary. It's one thing to know, to, you know, talk about officially, these are the kind of programs that we need. And, you know, we need to talk about implicit bias, but to actually hear personal accounts, to hear what actually happens to people, to actually be able to, you know, put something realistic with it. to make people think about why this is needed and what we go through, that is what you can expect to see in the story. I wanted it to be more than, just the programs, that we're looking to pass, which are important, don't get me wrong, but we really need to know what women go through and what, women of color go through, and just trying to have healthy babies, starting from pre-pregnancy all the way up to 1 year postpartum.
That's such an important issue. And thank you so much for tackling that. We were just talking about it this morning on our editorial meeting. And, we've all, I think, done very quick briefs on Black maternal health in the past. But I learned today on the call about diseases that women develop during pregnancy that I had no idea about. And to know that these things happen and Black women are not taken seriously, that which can lead to, fatalities of the mom and the baby, is just really, really, really a major issue. So thank you so much for getting those firsthand accounts. And we cannot wait anymore. And I hope you'll be able to follow that issue, because I'm sure it's constantly developing as well.
Yes. That is my goal. That's my plan.
Nice. So Jess, I know you had another story that you wanted to share with the people. Can you tell us a little bit what they can expect in the Be More section or national sections this week?
Yes, no worries. So I think the most prevalent thing or recent is the plastic bag ban going on here in the city. So if you live in the city of Baltimore, okay, you better bring your reusable bag. Okay. And I am the worst because I have like a ton of them, but I use them for everything except groceries, and everything. So use them, okay? Because now every place is kind of turning into Aldi's. You know how Aldi's just charge you for the for the bag. So now everywhere is just going to charge you for the bag, but it's not like a hefty price or anything like that. It's 5 cents, okay? It's just 5 cents if you want a plastic bag, but bring your reusable bag. Look, I have one right here. Bring them, okay? That'll be more than enough to fit my little eggs or whatever. But
put them in your car.
Right. Put them in the car, and I always forget. I always take them in the house, and then I leave right out to go to the grocery store, and I'm like, oh, well, let me just buy another one, and then I take that one home, and repeat the whole system. So I'm gonna do better, but just be mindful that when you go out, bring your bag.
Yeah, it's been a thing in the DC area for quite some time to pay for 25 cents for a bag. And
Wow.
I still can't get it. Yeah, no, they try it. It's 25. I think it started as 10, but I believe now, let me check. There's one because I'm in DC, so I'm in between Montgomery County and DC proper. And so I shop in both. The one I believe is 25 cents. I know the other one is 10 cents, but it's crazy. And I'm always forgetting my bags in the car. So Malika, I'm literally, after we get off this call, going to put my reusable bags in my car. That was great advice. Y'all, this is why we need moms on the show every single time. Look at Rev and Malika just like helping our lives. So Megan, I know that you have a little bit of info to share with us about Knowledge House. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I recently got connected with the Knowledge House. I hadn't heard of it before. But basically, Geraldine Rodriguez, she's one of the co-founders of the Knowledge House. They're celebrating their 7th anniversary, and they also just launched a fundraising campaign for their fellowship programs. And basically, kind of why the Knowledge House started was, Geraldine Rodriguez noticed that a lot of times we push college on low-income students. Like, this is the way that you're going to have a career, that you're going to gain money. You have to go to college if you want to have a job and a career. And, Geraldine kind of was like, well, college doesn't work for everybody. Some people are just, they're going to go to college and maybe they'll fail, or maybe they can't afford college and things like that. And it's just not what's going to work for them. So they started the Knowledge House to provide like coding and web design training fellowships for students free of charge. They allow them to use laptops for free, things like that. But basically, they launched this fundraising campaign to support 200 new students. They're expanding their programming. They started in New York. They're expanding to Atlanta, Georgia, Los Angeles, California, and also New Jersey. And they're just trying to show people that, like, especially within the tech world, I'm learning a lot that you don't actually need to have a college degree for a lot of the positions in the technology industry. Like, you just have to have a portfolio of skills and like training. You basically just have to be able to show I can do this job. You know, it doesn't matter that I went and got this degree, but I can do this job and I can show you that I can do it. And that's really what that story is about.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's
That
awesome.
is really awesome. Super duper awesome. So I guess I should share a little bit of what's happening in the DC section this week. And one story that I found interesting, and I think we already have thrown it online, is about flu season returning in a major, major way. And people encouraging the flu vaccination while we're still in this encouraging folks to get COVID-19 vaccine. And so we have people from local hospitals in DC weighing in about why they should get the flu vaccine. Dr. Fauci last week suggested that people get the COVID-19 and flu vaccine at the same time. So we put that in the article as well. But I don't know, that story for me was really hard to read because I've just now been grappling with COVID-19 and all of that, and to think about the fact that we have to also worry about the flu and that it's coming back with a vengeance. And there, of course, we all know that there's different strains of the flu every year, right? But we've been so talking about the COVID-19 variants that I almost forgot that the flu was a thing. But the major thing is, of course, it's still masking, it's still washing your hands regularly. But it's also in this article, a lot of places are really trying to get to the Black community to help them think about their health in terms of getting the flu vaccination. I guess we can use this as our hot take this week. I don't have a flu vaccination, and I normally don't get one because the one time, I used to get it as a kid all the time. And the one time I got the flu vaccination as an adult in my 20s, was that I got the flu. I got the flu like maybe 4 weeks later, and it was awful. I will say it lasted only a day and a half, which is why you get the vaccine, right? But it just it threw me off in such a way. It's now something I might have to think about for 2021, 2022. How about you guys?
I have like always gotten the flu vaccine, at least when I started college. So during college, they were always encouraging everybody to get it. And fortunately, I've never had the flu. Knock on fake wood. I don't want to get it, but yeah. But I've never had a bad experience with it. My worst experience is just that I hate needles. I have a phobia of getting shots. So every time I go in there, literally the last time I went to get it, the CVS person was like, please don't make a scene, because she could tell that I was getting nervous. She was like, don't make a scene up in the store. And I didn't. But luckily I've had, fine experiences with getting the flu vaccine, and I will probably be getting my shot soon.
Okay, Megan, maybe I'll go with you so we can potentially act a fool together. I'm not afraid of shots. It was really that one experience that threw me off. But I don't want anything. Right. That's my big thing. I don't want anything.
And that's the key right there, because actually in February of this year, I actually had the flu. Oh. And so I was so scared that it was COVID, and I still had to go and get all my testing and everything. And I tested negative just across the board, but I was sick for like 3 weeks with the flu. And I remember telling somebody, and it was like, oh my God, like you're a unicorn, because everybody's getting COVID, nobody's getting the flu. And here I am, I got the flu and I was sick as a dog. But it's kind of like, I don't know. I thought that was interesting when you said that Dr. Fauci was advising people to get the flu shot and the COVID shot at the same time. Because I'm like, I don't know about all that, but that might just be a lot, for my body. So, and I don't know, if they're interactions are real. So, two things might cause a different thing to be going on. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to keep my ear to the ground about that one. But yeah, so I just know that having the flu in the middle of a pandemic, a global pandemic, it sucks. So I want to get the flu shot, but then it's the conversation of the booster shot. What's going on with that? It's a lot of things going on, and I can't be putting everything into my body. Okay.
No, that's the thing. That is the thing. But the CDC and the White House COVID-19 task force, and remember, we talked to Dr. Nunez Smith last week. She also said she is getting or has gotten the flu shot as well as both. And the CDC and COVID-19 task force has said that it's safe to get both at one time.
Okay.
So.
We'll see.
You were supposed to spread it out, but I used to play fast and loose with the flu shot. I didn't start getting it consistently until I got pregnant, because when they're pregnant. So, and then my son was really premature and vulnerable. So ever since then, I have been, faithful about it. Just haven't scheduled it yet for this year. But I thought that you were supposed to space it out. If you got your COVID vaccine, that you were supposed to maybe wait a bit for the flu vaccine. I didn't realize you could get them both together.
Right.
Yeah, no, that was the old advising. Now you can get both at the same time. Yeah. Rev, you wanna wrap us up on this with that headshot?
Like,
You're not touching that one? Okay.
I have never had a flu shot. I have never had the flu.
Wow.
I was vaccinated for the common good with the coronavirus, and I'm planning to get the booster. I don't know about that flu shot. And I still have to get the second part of my shingles shot. So we'll see.
The shingles shot is 2 parts?
That is 2 parts.
Oh.
We're gonna have
The
to
new one is 2 parts, but it lasts forever. The first one was only 1 part, but it only lasts like 5-10 years or something.
Okay.
So.
Well, I think that might be on next week's episode of Afro News at Afternoon. Maybe it might be Afro News at Noon next week, or it might be Afro News Afternoon. Either way, y'all have to tune in. Thank you guys for being on today's show.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Thank you for having us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you to all those who are tuning in. Make sure you share this stream. It'll live forever on Facebook and YouTube. So go ahead and have your village informed forever and ever. And tune in.
And remember, it's Afro Premiere Week.
Yay!
Premiere Week.
Megan, what's coming tomorrow?
So we have my first episode of the podcast, Pleasure Doing Business with You. So please check it out. It's going to be on Facebook. It's going to be on YouTube. I'm very excited that it's finally out of my hands and ready for our subscribers.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Go, Megan.
And then Wednesday, we have the great Ralph Moore. What is he doing, Red?
He's doing the Moore Report. He's going to talk about everything. The man is brilliant. He knows Baltimore upside down and backwards, so we never know what it's going to be. But tune in to see his first column. It'll be online tomorrow.
And then what about Thursday, Jess?
Then I believe Thursday is going to be the 100th episode of the Chicken Box.
It is not the 100th episode.
It's not? That's what I was told.
With Larry Young.
We do Larry Young every week.
We do Chicken Box every week. It might be the 100th episode.
I thought it was 100th. Okay.
So, because that would mean it's 52 weeks in a year. We started August of 2020. Maybe.
That might
I don't
be.
know.
Okay, so today is also the last day to send in your recipes for the Afro cookbook. So if you need more information about that, check on the Afro Facebook page.
Yes, and that's big. Throw out your recipes. Let us know how we can make our tables just a little tastier this year. And I think that's it, y'all. We still got to get news to y'all this week. So
right.
Gotta go to work.
We have to go to work. This has been fun. This is Comedy Hour with with Afro Editorial team. But we have to go and do our jobs now. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see you next week on Afro News at noon or afternoon.
We'll keep you posted on which one.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.